Love it. I love it. So we've got a ton of content. What are we missing? What have we not talked about?
I don't know, man. I've talked about everything I want to. I just hope anyone watching this just really realizes how much these officials care. They really do. I talk with them a lot, these guys now that I consider I work with them for a few hours at a tournament and everything, but I consider them my friends, my brothers now too. I can tell you sometimes, we had a complaint at one of the tournaments in the last 2 weekends, won't say which one it was. And they're complaining about the officials, as a specific coach. And I said, do you realize that there are 4 guys on the floor that have officiated D2 and D3 national matches, 2 that just did the state tournament 2 weeks ago, and all the other ones have done at least districts. Like, if you want better officials, please send them my way. Let me know where they're at, because I don't know about them, So I think it's just like anything, right? When you go in and make a statement to someone because maybe you're mad or you're upset about something, like, do a little research. Flip the coin. I always say there's 2 sides to every coin. Flip the coin. What's going on there? Because it might be a you problem, right? Yeah. Like, you might be coaching your kids to do something, like a Merkle, right? Everyone's like, oh, the leg's hooked right away. That's 2. No, it really isn't. You have to extend them.
Right.
They have to be on their elbows or less. It's not 2. You can hook that and be on the side and cover the hip and do everything you want. And I say that because that was a huge thing this year.
Right.
It's not 2 right away. It's not automatic 2. Like, read the rule book, read the situation book, that kind of stuff. And I think if we did that more, then we would be less hard on the officials, because we would only challenge when we knew we had a snowball's chance in heck of winning, right? Yeah. So I think that's the last thing I really have to say. I just want to say, dude, since you've been doing this, the interviews have been awesome. I love being a team member with you. And, I hope you're right about Ohio Mat Media blowing up, because I'm hearing some things from officials saying, hey, this is the most people have actually thanked me for officiating.
Yeah.
So I think we're making an impact. We may never know what impact it is, but it is an impact. And I think that's all we can all ask to do, is just make it a little bit better one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what better sport to champion than the sport of wrestling. So I'm happy to be on board, play my minor role. I'm just a spectator, man. I get to just watch all you guys. You guys are wrestlers. You paid your dues.
You have the second best seat in the house.
Yeah, it's true.
Officials have the best seat in the house. And that's one of the big pitches they'll say is, like, I got the best seat in the house. I am there.
That's a great point.
No points are being given unless I raise my right or left hand.
Yeah.
You're a part of the match. Now, if you do it right, you're an unnoticeable part of the match, right? Or not right. That's not right. That's not correct. You know what I mean, though, right? Like, if you're matches go and you're not seen, that's a good thing. But honestly, what could you ask other than competing? You're as closest to the action as anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And going back to that state tournament, I bet they look forward to those 3 days in March, just like we do, just like you do as a coach, just like I do as a spectator. I bet they're looking forward to it, being out there on that stage.
Yeah, there are people right now, I can tell you, that are at home already thinking about when they apply next year and thinking about that date when they're going to find out if they got it or not. Like, it's just as real as training to get to the state tournament. Like, these guys are officiating knowing every time I go out on the mat, I need to do such a job that I can get the opportunity to be in the Schottenstein Center in March. And so I think what we've said for the last hour and 15, 20 minutes, is that we all have so much more in common than we do in difference. Like, we are a wrestling family, whether we like it or not. Officials might be the weird cousins or whatever. I don't know. But we're a family, and we all have to work together to make this happen. And the sooner that we can realize and take steps to kind of bridge that gap, the faster wrestling's going to get better.
Yeah. The faster it'll grow. Everybody talks about growing wrestling. Well, that's an aspect that needs to be a part of the family and addressed and nurtured just like any family member would. So I love it. I love the angle that you're taking. Real quick, tell everybody where they can find podcasts, where they can find social and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, on social, our videos are actually on the Ohio Athletic Committee page. There's two playlists. There's Technical Explanation Show, which is the full version, and then there's Tech X shorts, which are just short excerpts or maybe, videos that when I'm coaching and I should be eating food in the hospitality room, I'm interviewing officials that were there, stuff like that. So that's on the OAC's YouTube page. But on social, everything is Tech X, so Tech TECHEX Wrestling. That's on Twitter. That's if you go to facebook.com/TechX Wrestling, you'll find us there. Instagram. It's going to be fun trying to find content now that the season's over and it's locking hand season. So maybe I'll try to get some freestyle stuff going. But that's where you can find us on Instagram. We have a link tree in our bio too. Okay. So you can go to every video there. We're in audio, and so we're in video on YouTube and audio on any major podcast platform you could think of. If we're not on it, there's probably for a reason. But yeah, hey, thanks for that opportunity too. We would love to have some more viewers and people kind of see what the officials are thinking, and why they do what they do.
Yeah, and it's not just viewers. I'm hopeful that people that want to be on the pod, referees will reach out to you by direct message or the best way to reach out to you and give you some content. Because the more stories that are told, just like wrestler stories, everybody has unique stories and we love to hear their story. Why not hear more stories from referees?
Well, again, you're in sales, right? Like people remember stories. Like they don't remember slideshows, right? And slide decks, right? So like if you can tell a story, it's great, right? And people want to hear that. That's how you remember and learn. Because if you were a Neanderthal back in the day, right? And you walked out, you had to get food and you walked to the left and a big lion's there, right? You go back and you're like, hey, don't go to the left for apples. There's a lion there. Go to the right, right? You remember that because if you go to the left, you're dead, right? So these stories are just so memorable and you can learn so much from them. And honestly, I think they can make you a better coach, a better wrestler. And if you doubt me, just talk to those 6 wrestlers that placed in the top 4 at the stadium on the podium this year that are also officials and high school athletes, student athletes. Think about that. If they can become an official and be in high school and juggle their schoolwork and compete at that level, what excuses do you have not to give back to the sport? Like, what's your excuse? I'd love to hear it.
Right. All right. That's a good call to action. All right, man. Well, thank you. We got anything else before we say goodbye?
No, man. Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.